Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Irving Fryar. This is the Fryar Place where the conversations are fire. Hicks, I'm on. I was having I don't know what is going on with the airwaves, or things just seem to change, and I'm just behind because I'm old and I'm low tech, just above no tech. I'm not high tech, y'all. So sometimes I get a little lost in what's going on. But I was able to get on today. It took me like 15 tries, but I'm determined. Persevere. Big word. What's good, y'all? Good to see you today. Let me see if I can get in these comments and see you guys in the comments. I don't see anybody on right now. This is because I'm a little bit late. You probably were waiting for me, and I was taking too long. Sorry about that. But here I is. I'm in the house. I'm in the house and rocking and rolling. Just going to talk a little bit today about how I feel, a lot of people feel about this loss that the Eagles took, this beating that the Eagles took. Well, it wasn't a beating, but it was a very disappointing loss. And talk a little bit about the playoff games that are going to be coming up starting tomorrow into the next couple of weeks, and also going into, February, that second week of February, where the Super Bowl will be played out in California. But y'all come on in the room. I got a new monitor. Not a new monitor. I got a new screen in front of me, and it's a little bit crooked. I don't look crooked. The teleprompter itself is a little bit crooked, so I need to do some adjusting today, or this afternoon, this evening. Y'all come on in the room. I don't see anybody, but I want to talk a little bit about the birds. Let me see if I can get this on the screen here in front of me so I can see your comments if you do come in. We're not on my Facebook page. We're just on the Fryar Place YouTube channel. But no, I just want to talk a little bit about the Eagles. It's going to be not a long off season, because I believe it's going to be interesting. They've already released or demoted or not fired him necessarily, but I think they're going to keep him on the team. But Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, has already been relieved of his job. Now, everybody has a lot of different opinions about who the Eagles should hire as an offensive coordinator and how much authority they should carry, whether it's autonomy with the offense like Vic Fangio has with the defense, or, should they bring in some new cat who's a first-time play caller, who has a lot of promise, so that, if he comes in and does well, it's not like he's going to be gone the next year. But if they bring somebody else in who's settled in, a lot of times the team does well. You lose your offensive or your defensive coordinator when the team excels and does very well. So, there's a lot of questions. I don't know who they should hire. I don't really have an opinion about that. I do know the offensive coordinator, whoever he be, has to not just be an offensive coordinator. A coach has a lot of different roles when it comes to connecting and actually coaching players, particularly at the professional level. A coach is not just the X's and O's type of guy when it comes to his communication with his players. He's actually, all the other things that come along with being a human being, whether it's a counselor, whether it's a friend, whether it's a advisor, whether it's a policer, whether it's a time manager, all of that. He's all of that. Therapist, psychoanalyst, he's all of that when it comes to the players. And what I do know, based on really not just what happened with Jalen and Patullo this past season, but what I do know, having played in the NFL for some time, is that when an offensive coordinator connects with a quarterback, he not only has to connect with him in terms of the understanding of what it is they're going to do on the field, in terms of that offensive coordinator's system, but that offensive coordinator needs to shape and mold his system around what that particular quarterback does well or does not do well, and put the quarterback in a position based on his system to do what he does well more times than not. And an offensive coordinator has to be, not just all the other things that every coach has to be for their players or to their players in terms of being available to them, but he also has to be a quarterback developer. He has to be able to develop, take his quarterback from wherever he is in terms of his abilities on the field and where he is in terms of his capabilities. I said abilities, but what he's been able to do on the field as a quarterback. A offensive coordinator has to be able to take his quarterback to another level. That's where we're going. He has to be able to develop his quarterback in a way where his quarterback continually gets better as a quarterback. And that was one of the things that some of the players were saying on the 49ers team after the 49ers beat the Eagles last week, which was, was a disappointing game. I know what it's like to be a fan now, sitting in the cold, watching your team in a way that was kind of embarrassing. They should not have. I mean, the 49ers are so beat up, and Kittle went out early in the game, and so now they're rattled offensively, but we still weren't able to stop them. We still, when we had to, we weren't able to stop them. The Eagles weren't able to put up any points on a defense that was just paper mache. I mean, literally paper mache. So very, very disappointing. I know it's like to be a fan now, sitting in the stands in the cold, having, put your time in and effort in to come and support your team, and they just kind of, Don Shula would say it like this, rest his soul. Don Shula would say they just pissed up a rope. Y'all can picture that. Yeah, pissing up a rope, that's not a good thing. But yeah, it was disappointing. I don't know who they're going to bring in, but they need to make sure that they are assured that whoever they bring in understands Jalen Hurts and is able to help not just put his system together in a way where Jalen can be successful, therefore the offense can be successful in his system, which will probably be a new system because Kevin Patullo is gone now. So whoever they bring in is going to bring a new system in with them. And they need to be able to make sure whoever it is, as they interview them, or maybe they need to have Jalen in the room, I don't know. But as they interview them, make sure that this new offensive coordinator understands who Jalen is. As I started to say earlier, some of the players after the game with the 49ers, that's what they said defensively on the defensive players on the defensive side of the ball for the 49ers. After the game, they said, we just wanted to try to make Jalen play quarterback, make Jalen be a quarterback. And apparently, in watching film, they saw some things that Jalen was not capable of or just wasn't doing in terms of what needs to be done as a quarterback on the field to optimize his offensive chances of scoring and helping the team. So very, very disappointing. And then also, the big talk right now is A.J. Brown. Man, it's disheartening. It's really, really disheartening. I think I said this maybe a couple of shows again, and I apologize for not being on the last couple of weeks. We haven't been on the last couple of weeks, really been ripping and running and just not being able to stay on point. But we're going to get back on point. I promise you we're going to get back on point, and we're going to stop. I'm going to stop this, just me on talking. We're going to bring guests on like we have been in the past and make sure that the Fryar Place is airing at its standard. We're going to keep the standard the standard. The main thing, the main thing. That's what the Eagles say. The main thing, the main thing. But the biggest disappointment in all, particularly this last game against the 49ers, is A.J. Brown. There's so much disdain towards him with regards to just everything. Whether you look on the ESPNs, whether you are listening to some of the fans, whether you're looking at social media, whether you're looking at the local stations, local TV, local radio, whatever it is, there's so much disdain towards him. He's probably better off just going somewhere else. I don't know. There's been talk. I've heard that the Eagles won't trade him unless he says he wants to be traded, and then he will be traded. And I know his cap hit is they don't get anything. I think they don't gain anything. It's like a minus $20 million is the benefit for them to get rid of him. But it's worth it to get the cancer out and to start over at that position. But the way he played in this particular game, just it was real bad. I was embarrassed as a former wide receiver, having played the position for many years and knowing what it takes to go out and be effective and have an impact, not just for your team, but have an impact on the guy that you're trying to beat every down. And for his lack of effort, and that's what blocking is. He was missing blocks. He was lining up in the wrong place. Not getting his feet where he needed to get his feet to get his body in front of the defender so he could block for the running back or block for someone else who had the ball. It was really very distasteful. It was very embarrassing. It was very lax and uncaring on his part. Now you're in the playoffs. It's win or go home. You're in your home stadium. You called for the ball. You made a mess earlier in the season with all of this, the cryptic messages, starting a couple of years ago or last season when he reading the book on the sidelines and, he's giving all these cryptic messages on Twitter and whatnot. And, he wanted the ball. Even you can go back to the Super Bowl. Right after the Super Bowl last year, he expressed that he was not satisfied by winning the Super Bowl. In that, and the quote, he said he wanted to dominate. He wanted to dominate. That's what he wanted to do. So it goes back to right after they won the Super Bowl in 2025, where he started all this craziness. And then you get an opportunity to be the man. You get an opportunity. Okay, you want the ball. They start throwing him the ball and throwing him the ball. And he's been dropping balls. But now you're in the playoffs and it's win or go home. And you got a ball right in your hands he dropped 3. But the last one that he dropped really was a big one. We ended up getting the first down after that. And then Devontae Smith dropped one that was big that really would have kept the drive going and given us a chance to come back and win that game. But man, and I've never seen, again, if they have, please say so in the comments. I see Eddie Casper's in the hot comments. What's up, Eddie? How you doing? Shout out to you, brother. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you. I haven't seen the Eagles this season. And if it happened, please correct me if you're watching this. I haven't seen the Eagles this year, go down at the end of the game, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes, go down, drive the field, and score a touchdown to win the game. They haven't done that this season. They've scored not many points, but they've scored some points offensively. But when they had to go down, I sat up in my seat. I thought maybe they were going to do it this time, and I hadn't seen it all season. But they didn't do it. And then also, Patullo took it on the chin because of that last play call where they sent 4 wide receivers straight down the field, all on goes, right into the coverage, which was quarters coverage, which, that's all you got it's do or die. You're down to one play. You have to get this first down or the game is over and you're out of the playoffs. And it's more than just a disappointing season. And that's the play you call? My gosh. You can't be any more creative than that. And again, I believe, like I was saying earlier, as offensive coordinators they call plays that they know are going to work based on who the quarterback is. And I believe that's been a battle. It's been a struggle. It's been a tussle. It's been a civil war all year long, all season long between Patullo and Jalen Hurts. We had the same thing, not the same thing, but a similar situation last year where Kellen Moore came in. And, Kellen Moore came in from Dallas. He comes in, and if you remember correctly, in the 2024 season, last season, the Eagles started out the first 4 games all over the place. We were complaining like we've been complaining all season long. The offense was up and down. Jalen was turning the ball over because they were trying to throw the ball all over the place. Then they got the bye, And then they came back from the bye and they switched it up and started running the ball with Saquon. They started running the ball more than they were passing it. And it turned out to be, obviously, the offensive line, one of the best in the NFL last season. We started running the ball. And the running game was so awesome that the passing game didn't have to be elite. As a matter of fact, passing game last season, when they won the Super Bowl, was 28th in the league. They were the 28th team in passing last season and won the Super Bowl. That's because, and they passed the ball in the Super Bowl, but they got to the Super Bowl because of the running game and the front line. And that running game was so elite that, linebackers, anytime Jalen looked like he was going to even look at Saquon Barkley coming from the backfield, they had to pause because the running game was so awesome. Everybody on the defensive line, they had to pay attention. Linebackers had to wait to see play action work last season because of that running game. So because the running game was so awesome, we never noticed that the passing game was so vanilla. The stats say it, though, from last season, 28th in passing. But the running game was holding it down. This season, no running game. And so the passing game was exposed. And there were times when Kevin Patullo would call certain plays and look like we were going to open it up. The second half with the Rams, it looked pretty good. First half with the Rams, we sucked. Second half with the Rams, we come out and we throw the ball all over the place, and it looked pretty good. But most games, there was a tug, there was a tussle. Jalen didn't want to be so intricate in some of the play calling. He wanted to throw the ball outside with the slants and with the hitches and with the outs and with the goes. That's what he wanted, and stop routes. That's what he wanted to do, and that's what he's more comfortable with. And so there was a struggle. There was a struggle. As you see the last play of the game, what happened? He threw the ball over the middle of the field into a crowd of people. It was just, I think he just threw it in there because it was called, and he had enough. He had enough. He's like, I'm not doing this. But, that's going to be a big part of, or needs to be a big part of who they choose as an offensive coordinator this season. I believe we have seen Buddy or Bobby, what's going on? And Eddie is still here. Let me see. Were you an Eagle fan growing up? Thoughts on going to the Super Bowl 40 years ago and possible rematch of the Patriots and Bears rematch? I see you, Bobby. Yeah. Was I an Eagles fan growing up? No, I really wasn't a sports fan growing up. When I went to, and I don't want to talk about me. This show is not about me. I want to talk about the Eagles. But real quick, growing up, I wasn't a sport. I played sports. I played baseball way longer than I did football. I didn't play football until I got to high school. I played baseball from the time I was 7 years old. Was a much better baseball player than football player, actually. And folk thought I was going to go pro in baseball. But anyway, and no, I wasn't a sports fan. I played sports, but I didn't follow sports, and I didn't have someone that I followed. Franco Harris graduated from the same high school I was going to when I got into high school, and I was in high school with two of his brothers. My freshman and sophomore year was with a guy older than me, Giuseppe, and then a guy younger than me, Kelly. I played baseball with Kelly. Kelly didn't play. I don't think Kelly played baseball when we got to high school, but grade school and whatnot, I played baseball with Kelly. But anyway, and then when it was time to go to college, I really didn't want to go to college. So I really didn't want to play football. I wanted to be a Marine and fly jets. But there was an opportunity there. My mom saw the opportunity, and no one had been to college before in our family. So she said, go to college. You're getting a free education. So I went, and the rest is history. But yeah, it would be very interesting. It's interesting that you say that too, Bobby, because that's my opinion about this season. And my picks for the Super Bowl, even though it's too early to pick for the Super Bowl, but that's what I believe, or who I believe is going to be in the Super Bowl, the two teams, the Bears and the Patriots. I believe it's going to be another Bears-Patriots matchup. That would be awesome. That would be awesome to see that happening again. I do believe Drake May is the truth. I do. And I believe the Bears they're rolling right now. You see some of these teams that are in the playoffs as of right now, like the Bills, even the 49ers, not the Texans, but the Rams. Those three teams that are in the playoffs right now, they haven't continued to do this. They haven't continued to ascend from, say, maybe like halfway through the season. The Bears have done this the whole time. The Bills, it's been this to get to where they are right now. The 49ers, the same thing. It's been this to get to where they are right now. The Rams, the same thing. It's been this to get to where they are right now. But you've got several teams that have just started ascending, and they've continued to ascend. Broncos, Seattle Seahawks, they had a little hitch in their giddy up along the way, but for the most part, they continue to get better, and their defense is awesome. But the Patriots, once they started going, they've kept going. There have been no glitches for them. So there'll be some interesting playoff games. But that's a great question. Thank you. Yeah, God bless Franco. Rest in peace. You're right, Eddie. He was a great man. Great man. So no, you guys, I got my Eagles gear on. I'm not showing the whole bird because we're half a bird right now. We're not a whole bird. We're half a bird. But I'm a fan of the Eagles. I do what I can to support the Eagles. I buy Eagles gear and wear it. When I see somebody's got Eagle gear on, whether I'm here locally or I'm somewhere else in another state, go Birds. Say go Birds. We had an opportunity, and this is what's so really, for me, disheartening and disappointing. Well, I should say not necessarily disheartening because there's always next season, but disappointing is this. I played 17 years in the NFL. I've never had the opportunity to be on an offense that had this kind of, or has this kind of talent on it, where they everybody in the skill positions are capable of being starters on any team, right? And then offensive line, they've been banged up this season, but starting the season, they were some great players on the offensive line, just in that offense. And even without the offensive line, you can scheme some quick plays where the ball gets out of Jaden's hands, where some misdirection in the running game, where you're doing things to try to make up for the fact that guys are a little bit banged up, and give them an advantage where there's a little misdirection, so they can get some leverage on the defense, the defender. But we didn't see the intricacies like that in our offense. So it's disheartening because I believe they're not going to be. We're obviously not going into next season projecting them to go back to back like we did this season, like they're going to the Super Bowl. That's not next year. We may see a step backwards this season. A.J. Brown, my opinion, he does need to go. I think he can still play, but man, his attitude and his demeanor and his selfishness and his self-centeredness and listen, he wanted the ball. We started throwing him the ball and we started losing. So guess what? He must be a part of the problem. He said there was a problem in the offense. They weren't producing. They weren't doing this, weren't doing that. Yes, he is right about that. He was right about that. He still is right about that. But guess what? He was getting the ball and we were losing. When he wasn't getting the ball, we were winning. Not in a fashionable way, not in a pretty way, or not in a necessarily satisfying way, but we were still winning. A win's a win. But when we started throwing him the ball and catering to him, we started losing. So guess what? He's part of the problem. And then with his attitude on top of that, he's cancer. He's got to go. And after that debacle, that embarrassing, it wasn't even a performance. He just, what he did on the field against the 49ers, or did not do on the field against the 49ers, is embarrassing. You're getting paid all that money. That's the kind of effort that you get. Boy, he's lucky I'm not a coach, because I would have yelled at him too, right in front of everybody, like Sirianni. I don't understand why people are so upset, because Sirianni had something to say to him during the game. He should have said something to him. He should have grabbed him by the face mask and threw him over there on the sidelines and made him sit there till the game was over. That's what he should have did. That's what would have happened if I act like that. One of my coaches back when I played, things are done differently now, I know. But, I mean, shoot. I can remember there was a time with the Eagles where two of my coaches, when I played for the Eagles, were younger than me. Gerald Carr, my position coach, he was younger than me. John Gruden, when I played here with the Eagles, when he was the offensive coordinator, he's still younger than me. He was younger than me. He still is younger than me. I remember I made a mistake in a Jets game, and Aaron Glenn was able to intercept the ball running for a touchdown. And I came to the sideline, and Gerald Carr, in front of everybody, went up one side of me. Just in my face, and up. I messed up. It's not something I did. I had never done that before, what I did then, and never did it after that again. But I had messed up. I messed that play up and caused the interception. That was my fault. Matter of fact, I told the press it was my fault. But I came back and scored the winning touchdown against Aaron Glenn and made up for it because we won the game with my last catch for the touchdown. But he went up one side of me and down the other in front of everybody. And I made no qualms about it. I said nothing. I did nothing. I didn't even say anything to him in the meeting rooms after that. Why? Because I'm a player. He's the coach. That's the way it used to be. That's the way it used to be. I don't care if you don't like the coach. He's still the coach. He has the title of the coach. And that coach, as coach, he has a certain amount of authority over the player, even though he's younger than you. He was younger than me. I could have made a mess of it, but no, that's not the way things should go. It's not the way it should go. It's not the way it's supposed to go. When you're coach, that's why you have a coach, to coach you. He's the coach. He calls the plays, you do what he says. He has practice, you go out and practice. He calls the meetings, you be in the meeting and to pay attention. Whatever it is the coach says, that's what you do. But that's not the way it is now. But I don't believe Sirianni was wrong. I believe Sirianni was wrong in the fact that he allowed this to go on for 2.5, almost 3 seasons. That's where he's wrong. He should have nipped this in the butt 2.5 years ago, and stop putting up with A.J. Brown's shenanigans. It's ridiculous what he has been allowed to get away with. And so there's so much hate towards him. That's a strong word. But there's so much, not animosity, but there's so much negativity around him right now in terms of how people view him, how people feel about him, how people see him, that it really is probably in his best interest to move on, to go ahead and move on. And now, again, like I said earlier, it's going to be a cap problem, but that's what Howie Roseman does. Howie, he's not a genius. I wouldn't call him a genius, but he sure is close to being a genius when it comes to the salary cap and recognizing talent and making trades and all of those kinds of things. He's done a good job, a fantastic job in his comeback since he got let go from the Eagles. And he came back like a lion, just roaring, a hungry lion. Yeah, Howie's been getting it done. So just disappointing, y'all. It's been disappointing. I'm gonna give you some predictions, and we're gonna be out of here today. I really thank you all for being on. Let's watch this commercial first. Let's hear from one of our sponsors first. Then I'll be right back, and we'll talk about some of these predictions. All right, check this out.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Irving Fryar. I am a former NFL wide receiver. I played for the New England Patriots, the Miami Dolphins, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Washington Redskins. I got something for you. Are you ready to transform your fitness routine? I have here introducing the new Unlimited Body Trainer. Say goodbye to your boring workouts and hello to excitement with over 150 exercises designed to strengthen your abs and your total body. Whether you're a beginner or an athlete like me, our brand new handmade grips ensure every session is comfortable and effective. Proudly made in the United States of America, this powerhouse holds up to 300 pounds. You can't get to the gym? No problem. With our Fit in 15 key sessions, you can achieve a full body workout in just 15 minutes. Experience resistance training, metabolic training, core workouts, and band training, all from the comfort of your own space. But that's not all. Our special elite gear package includes foot sliders, resistance bands, gloves, and a convenient carrying bag. Plus, don't miss out on our exclusive supplements and apparel available on our website. Lose up to 25 pounds in just 2 months. It's time to seize the moment. For men and women, for athletes and fitness enthusiasts, the Unlimited Body Trainer is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Make the change today. To make everything easier, download the app today and unleash your potential with the Unlimited Body Trainer.
What's the matter, Hicks? You know, I got to do commercials, man. Got to pay these bills, bro. I got to pay you. Matter of fact, I got you this in next week. I got you next week so we can get this thing back on track. All right. That's my moderator, y'all, Mr. James Hicks there, who's watching. He sent me a text message saying, this guy doing commercials. Yeah, I'm doing commercials. What? Matter of fact, I think we'll be out your way at the what is it called? The fitness show. What is it in? I can't think of the name of it, but it's a big fitness show they have in California every year. It's in March. Might be out there with the push-up bar. Yeah, so I have to let you know, bro. But anyway, so I just want to give you all my predictions. Not really anything in depth, but we got 4 games this weekend, and then we have 2 games next weekend. Then 2 weeks later, we got the Super Bowl. So we're right down to the nub. We're right down to the nitty-gritty, y'all. This will be the last week you get a chance to see games, 4 games, until next season, when the weekend, is full of games. So the first game, divisional playoff rounds, is the Bills at the Broncos. And here's what I do. When I'm looking, and I believe you have to do that in today's game, do this in today's game. When you're looking at, particularly if you don't know a whole lot about the team, I don't know as much of other teams or about other teams in the league like I do the Eagles, because I follow the Eagles and I do Eagles podcasts and whatnot. But I do, when they play other teams and you gather information, so on and so forth. But I try to pay attention as much as I can. But I'm not an analyst or anything like that. I don't claim to be that, some big analyst. I will give you my opinion about the Eagles because I watch them and pay attention to them, and I know when things are right and I know when things ain't right, and I can do some analyzing and try to figure out, in my opinion, why certain things are. As I said to you today with regards to quarterback and OC and A.J. Brown and all that stuff. But anyway, in today's game, when you're looking to try to pick who is going to win, when you're trying to sit and look at 2 teams and try to find out or figure out or discern which team is going to win, obviously you have to look at the quarterbacks. You have to. That's where the games, the games are won up front. They're won up front. But you can always tell, and that's the offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. The game starts up front. They don't block nothing. You're not going to get anything done. Defense doesn't put pressure on the offense. Offenses, everybody's good. Every team may not be good, but every player that's in the NFL obviously was an elite player at the college level. That's how they got to the pros. So they're elite athletes. They can play. They may be on a team that's not good, that has to do with, the cohesiveness of those great players or the lack thereof, and then coaching and then ownership. So they all 3 levels play a part in it. But trust me, each one of those cats can play. So if a defensive line doesn't get any pressure on the quarterbacks in this league going to eat you up. Receivers going to eat you up. You get them time. DBs can't stay with receivers all day long. They get the job done, or the job is made easier for them because quarterbacks have to rush because the defensive line is putting pressure on them. So it all works up front. It all starts up front. And me choosing a quarterback, which entails choosing a team, has to do with how quarterbacks have done under pressure, which has to do with how things are being done up front, whether it's offensive line or defensive line. So Bills at Broncos. That's Saturday at 4:30. And then so you got Josh Allen versus Bo Nix. Now, the only difference with the weather, and trust me, y'all, the weather makes a difference. Stop thinking that we're superhuman and we don't care whether or not it's cold. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. If I had the opportunity to play in Florida in the heat or play at my home stadium in the cold, I'm going to Florida. I want to play away in Florida at an away game. We prefer that. We won't say that to you as our fans because we don't want you to think we don't want to play in front of you. But if I had the choice to play at home in 30-degree weather or play in Florida this time of the year in 60, 70-degree weather, Florida. We're not superhuman. We're human just like you. Would you rather play in the cold? If you would, something wrong with you. Anyway, I'm going with Bo Nix because of what I said earlier. The Broncos, the team itself, yes, Bo Nix is a young quarterback, but he is playing well, and he has gone from here, and he continues to ascend. This Broncos team, and defensively, they're doing really well defensively. Got a real good defense, but they've continued to ascend. Bo Nix has continued to get better. They haven't taken any drops and done any wavering. They've been on a steady ascension. And Josh Allen and the Bills, you know it, y'all. They've been up and down. I think they just kind of limped into the playoffs. And they're in Denver. It takes a minute, unless they go out there early, unless the Bills go out there early. But it takes a minute, almost a half, for you to get used to that air up there. It feels like you're about to die when you come out there when you're not used to playing in at that altitude. That first half is like you almost want to pass out. So yeah, that's an advantage for the Broncos. Bo Nix and the Broncos. I'm taking that one. Y'all can mark me on these picks too. See how I come out. 49ers, Seahawks. I'm going with the Seahawks. Not because 49ers beat the Eagles, but the Eagles should have beat them. They're not in any better shape this week than they were last week. They put a defense together that was made out of paper mache. They had a couple linebackers that hadn't even played before, and I don't know what was going on with the Eagles, but they're not going to get away with that with the Seahawks. They got to go to Seattle. They don't have Kittle. Kittle's gone. The only offensive weapon in their receivers are average. The only offensive, and that's why it's a shame that the Eagles lost. But the only threat that they have is CMC. If they can find a way to double him up and keep him on the wraps, they're not going to be productive. You saw CMC, Christian McCaffrey, y'all. He ate us up. Yeah. And they game plan to get him open, whether it's catching the ball out of the backfield. We saw that Shanahan do that last week for that last score they got. They ran everybody to the right and brought him out of the backfield to the left and ran his little option route against the linebacker, our linebacker, and caught the touchdown, winning touchdown pass for them. So I'm going with Seattle. Sam Darnold he's got more turnovers than anybody in the league right now, but they have a phenomenal defense. Their defense is really, at this point, it's better than the Eagles' defense. And Sam Darnold, if he gets hot, the 49ers, which I don't think they will because they didn't put pressure on, weren't able to get that much pressure on Jalen last week. If they can't put any pressure on Sam Darnold and they allow Sam Darnold to sit back in that pocket and throw the ball when they do want to throw the ball, and they don't throw the ball a whole lot. They do have a good running game. Sam Darnold will eat you up, though. Will eat you up. So I'm going with Saturday, 8 p.m. game, Seahawks, just so you know. Then we got Sunday. The first game on Sunday at 3 o'clock is the Texans at the Patriots. It's going to be cold up there. It makes a difference. C.J. Stroud, I'm just not convinced with him. I really am not. I've seen enough up and down from him. Their defense is outstanding. They play like a pack of wild wolves. Yeah, they play like a pack of wild wolves that are hungry. They're all over the place. They can put pressure on the quarterback. Those defensive ends can rush anytime they want. They can seem like anytime they want or anytime they have to, they can get a sack. But Stroud he can turn the ball over or will turn the ball over. But here's the thing. If you haven't seen him this year, y'all, Drake May is the truth. I had the opportunity to go up New England in the middle of the season to watch New England play the Falcons in New England. And I didn't realize that Drake May was that talented. That kid can play. And he can do more than just throw the ball. He uses his legs. He's athletic. He understands defenses. He can read defenses, pre-snap, post-snap, fit the ball in tight. I mean, he's the truth. He is the truth. If they can maintain talent around him, A.J. Brown may end up in New England next year because Vrabel is the head coach. They have a relationship from when he was down in Tennessee. So that's a big possibility, and that would make the Patriots even better. But the Patriots are going to win that game against the Texans. It'll be a tough one because the defense is going to cause problems at first, but I think they'll pull it out in the latter part of the game, the Patriots. And then the last game Sunday at 6:30, the Rams and the Bears. And this is what I was talking about. If nothing else, y'all, if nothing else, the weather's going to make a difference. In Chicago, it's going to be single-digit chill factor. It's going to feel like single digits, 6 to 8 degrees. That's what it's going to feel like. Yep. And it's going to be cold, and it's going to make a difference. Matthew Stafford hurt his hand, I believe it was last week. It's going to make a difference. That ball becomes slick. It's hard. And that kind of cold, I mean, that kind of cold, you can crack your helmet. Somebody hit somebody in the right spot or the right way or hard enough, a helmet will crack because it's cold. Single digit wind chill factor, yeah. That it's going to be 20, 25 mile an hour wind gusts. Yeah. That game is going to have to be won on the ground, and I believe the Bears are going to be able to do it. Matthew Stafford wins through the air when they win, and his passing. I'm going to be very surprised if Matthew Stafford is real effective throwing the ball through the air. It's going to be, this is in favor of the Bears. I'm picking the Bears because, like I said earlier, it's going to be a Bears-Patriots Super Bowl, a rematch of the 1985 Super Bowl that I just so happen to be in, where we got our behind spanked by the Bears. I did score, consolation, I did score in that, I was the only one to score. So at that time, too, I was the only Patriot to score in the history of the organization. I was the first Patriot to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Yay! There you go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, that's it, y'all. Thanks for listening to me jibber jabber. Let me see. I got Rob Coles in the house. I got Eddie Casper in the house. James Hicks is in the house. Bobby, what's going on? Shout out to you, bro. Who else? Oh, I said Bobby. Okay. I see you. Brother looking so young. I'm looking young? I'm looking young in the commercial. I don't look young now. I did that commercial like 4 months ago, maybe. So what happened? I'm looking old now, Hicks? What's going on? Brother looking young. I was sweating, had a lather going on in that commercial. I had to let you know about that show, the fitness show out there. I can't remember where it's going. I just know it's going to be in California. But I'll let you know ahead of time, bro. And you'll be hearing from me this week. All right, y'all, that's it. I don't know if I said Happy New Year to you at the beginning of the show. I think I said it in the middle of the show, but I'm going to say it before I get off. Happy New Year to you. Listen, we got some special guests lined up. The first Friday in February will be our Wellness Week. Donna Marie will be back. Yep, we talked yesterday, and she's back from her hustle and bustle, and I'm slowing down because the season's slowing down, so we're going to be on the regular with her. That won't be an issue moving forward. Then I've got a surprise right before that week before. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Look for the advertisement that I'm going to make. It's someone beautiful who lives in the Washington, D.C. area. That's your hint. It's someone beautiful who lives in the Washington, D.C. area, who just so happens to be a well-known. If I say this part, you'll know. Okay, she happens to be a well-known sports presenter. I'm not going to say analyst. A sports commentator or sports, not analyst, but it's one who talks about sports. Sports commentator. That's the only hint you're going to get. You have to wait for the advertisement, but it's going to be, I think it's the 31st. It's a Friday before the Super Bowl. So it'll be the Friday after the Super Bowl teams have been determined. That's when she's going to be on. So we got some interesting shows coming up. Y'all stay tuned. You know, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the what is that? The comment button, or you putting the comments in, and don't forget to subscribe. All right, don't forget to subscribe. This is the Fryer Place, where the conversations are fire. Listen, I appreciate y'all for being on today, for listening to me. Hopefully, I didn't bore you, but we will be back. Listen, we need to talk about Super Bowl II, bro. Okay, I'll holler at you, Hicks. I'll holler at you. I'm not going to the Super Bowl. I'll be in Minnesota at the Super Bowl preaching. I just got invited to go to Minnesota to preach 2 services. And yeah, it's going to be good. I'll be in Minnesota. I'm already booked, so I'm not going to be out there at the Super Bowl. Sorry. There are other more important things I got to do. Listen, y'all, I'm out of here. We will be back next week, same time, same place. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. This is the Fryer Place. I'm your host, Irving Fryar, and this is where the conversations are fire. I'll shout at y'all. See you next week.